Hi, I'm Amy. Welcome to the video. Hey guys, today's video is going to be another foundation roundup. This is my third video in this series where I take like 4 to 6 foundations that are in the same category, described as very similar foundations, and compare them. This is going to be high-end, drugstore, affordable, K-beauty, all the things mixed together, put it in the same category and then compared. I do full day wear tests on each of these and show you the beginning of the day and the end of the day so you can see how it wore actually on my dry skin. I will also swatch all the colors next to each other so you can get a good idea if you are pale like me, which one will work best. All kinds of good stuff. I'm going to give you so much information that I need to stop talking right now so we can get into it, and this isn't a million years long. If you love foundation like I do, don't forget to give this video a like, subscribe if you haven't already, and let's get into it. I'm going to go ahead and give you the swatch comparisons right now before we get started because I know a lot of people are probably just here looking for color comparisons. And in this swatch comparison, you will see the Maybelline Dewy and Smooth. I have the shade 105 Ivory. The Wet n Wild Photofocus Dewy version in the shade Shell Ivory. The IT Cosmetics CC Illumination in the shade Light. The Flower Beauty Light Illusion foundation in the shade Porcelain L1, and then the Flower Beauty Get Real Serum foundation in the shade Ivory L2. So yeah, let's talk about each one individually. So first we're going to be talking about the Maybelline Dewy and Smooth. The description for this one says, this is a moisturizing foundation that is formulated to achieve flawlessly smooth, hydrated, and more even skin tone. This foundation also features SPF 18 to help protect the skin from sun damage. The end result is a beautifully hydrated and smooth skin with a foundation makeup shade that fits you. Their Fit Me collection is all about having good shades. So let's talk about shades. How many shades are there in this foundation? There are 24 shades in this foundation, and I'm giving that 4 stars because I do see that the foundation shade range does go quite deep and it does go quite fair, but I don't think it has enough variation in undertones and such to really hit it. And at the very end of it, you can see there's quite a big jump from, tan to deep. So I think they could do better, especially calling themselves the Fit Me foundation. And the whole point of this line is that you're able to find a shade for you. So that's why I give it a 4. This retails for $7.99. I consider this one a light to medium coverage. It didn't cover up, too much, but it felt very everyday, and it's not too sheer. It definitely has some coverage. However, the finish was not very dewy or smooth on me, honestly. It gave me a natural finish, like a very, very skin-like finish. Like, I don't even think it was as dewy as what I have going on today, and I wouldn't consider this super dewy. Yeah, and it had about probably 6 hours of wear to where I would be like, this looks good for 6 hours. Overall, though, this one did look a little bit heavy on kind of dry patches on my skin. I mean, it did look nice kind of from afar, but when you looked up close, I was like, how is this dewy and smooth? Because it's on my dry patches. It wasn't set. It gave like a little bit of dew on my forehead, but I didn't need to set like powder anywhere on my face, and it still gave me like not much for dewy and smooth. Like, I would have thought this was matte and poreless. Actually, not poreless though. So that's what I have to say about that one. I think that this was one of my favorite foundations before I got really into makeup. So I'm very surprised to see how I feel about it now because I just don't think it really holds up. The next one we are going to talk about is the Wet n Wild Photofocus. This is the dewy version. A weightless, super nourishing foundation that delivers natural all-day wear. Silky and creamy, coverage is easy, buildable from medium to full. Is this a poem? And it easily transitions from day to night, ideal for normal to dry skin types. Is this just in my head, or is this a poem? Like, is this a children's tale? This moisturizing formula blends seamlessly, blurs imperfections, and helps minimize the appearance of pores for a perfectly smooth, dewy finish. Cruelty-free, gluten-free, talc-free, and vegan. Okay. I'm still caught up in the fact that that rhymed. But anyways, there are 20 shades in this. And again, I give this one a 4 because pretty much the same thing. They have 2 pretty deep shades, but before that, like, they're just tan. Like, they don't have any, like, dark or, like, literally brown skin tones at all. It's, like, goes from I went to Santorini on vacation to, oh, a black person. You know, and I just think they could do better there. It retails for $6.49. This one is a more medium to full coverage. It does have more coverage. I said this one has a natural finish as well. I didn't think this was as glowy or dewy or radiant as what it was telling me that it was going to be. I mean, it says dewy directly on the bottle, and I just don't think that it shows up that dewy on me. My skin is quite dry, quite thirsty, and foundations have to be quite radiant, or radiant in the right way in order to show up looking glowy on my skin. And I gave this one 6 hours too. I know a lot of people really love this foundation, but if you listen to them when they're talking about it, they love how it looks in the first few hours. Not many people actually love how this wears. Out of all my Wet n Wild foundations, I have the cushion, I have the stick, and I have the original Photofocus. This one has the least wear time out of all of them. I gave it 6 hours. I wrote, not very dewy, medium to full coverage, looks a little bit dry and heavy around the nose as well as between the brows. The next one we are going to talk about is the IT Cosmetics CC Illumination. I know that the IT Cosmetics CC creams are some of the most highly raved about, loved by people who aren't on the internet as well as people who are on the internet kind of things. And I just never liked it. I really just don't. So I did have the original formula. I have gotten rid of that because I did not like it at all. I purchased the Illumination formula thinking that my dry skin would like it better because I felt like the original was literally like a thick, cakey mess on my skin. I did not like it at all. But before we get to my opinions, let's see what they have to say about this CC Illumination. SPF 50 plus mineral sunscreen features the same multitasking face makeup and skincare benefits as the original correcting cream, plus light reflecting pigments to give glowing skin without glitter or shimmer. Remember that. This one has 12 shades. I give it a 3 for the shade range. You could do better. You could do better, especially because this has more coverage than like normal CC BB cream. It's not a skin tint. It does have coverage. This retails for $39.50. This one has like a light to medium coverage, more on the medium, and it is matte on my skin. The finish of it is matte on my skin. There is no glow. There is no dew. There is no life to my skin. It looks like I powdered my entire face. I would say it lasts about 6 hours before it just looks so gross on my face. Honestly, I don't like the way this looks at all. The color light is too dark. I do think that they have a fair shade, but I am not the palest person. I am very pale, but I'm not the palest person. So if your lightest shade matches me, you don't have enough light shades. This is too dark, and it does have glitter, guys. It is not glowy. It is just glittery. Glittery. It looks like freaking this. I am Edward. That's how I felt when I was wearing this. I got in the sunlight and it was like bing, 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 bing. Instead of it being like a juicy glow, it was like little tiny specific particles of glitter. Disgusting. I don't like it. Okay, it says dries down and loses all dew. Looks very powdery on areas that weren't even powdered. Wore okay, but my skin felt thirsty. So, absolutely not. This will be one that I end up decluttering at the end of this after I've swatched everything and talked all about them and done like a final roundup. Don't like this one. Now, onto the Flower Beauty Light Illusion. This is their first foundation. This is the perfect veil of buildable coverage. Light Illusion is a breakthrough foundation that achieves the impossible, provides you with coverage you desire to smooth and perfect, while imparting your skin with the most flattering, soft luminosity imaginable. All with a weightless nude skin feel. Imperfections and uneven skin tone are diminished. Only a flawless, smooth, and incredibly natural complexion is revealed. This one has 15 shades because it started with 12 and they did expand it. And I gave it a 3 because even their expansion is not great. And it retails for $13.49. Now, this one to me is a medium to full coverage. I think it had much more coverage than what I was expecting from it based on what it said. And I didn't build it up. It just kind of gave me pretty much a lot of coverage from the get-go. And it did have like that natural satin kind of finish. It gave a little bit of a hydrated glow to the skin, but nothing like that someone with oily skin wouldn't be okay with, I don't think. I lasted about 4 to 6 hours though. I didn't think this had like the best lasting power, honestly. I put medium to full coverage, natural matte vibe, but it does get glowy after about 4 hours. But that glow that you're getting after about 4 hours is like your skin saying, hey, time is almost up. So I feel like oily skin people would probably only like it for 4 hours. Dry skin people might make it work beyond the 4 to 6 hours. But I felt like because it was like primarily just my forehead that got kind of dewy looking, it didn't look like dewy. You know, I'd like to be dewy on my cheeks, not necessarily my forehead where it looks like I've been stress sweating for a while, you know? All right, the last one here on the list is the Flower Beauty Get Real Serum Foundation. I did do a whole face of Flower Beauty where I shared this, but I wanted to go ahead and throw it in here because I wanted to put those Flower Beauty foundations kind of head to head. This one says a hydrating, weightless, buildable foundation that conceals and smooths skin, leaving a natural looking, radiant finish. This one comes in 16 shades, but it is much more sheer. I'm giving this a 5 stars for the shade range because let me show you the shade range right here. It has quite an even display of shades and it goes quite deep. I felt like for something so sheer, it had a really nice shade range. The retail price for this one is $15. It has that light to medium kind of coverage. It's very much a serum, so it can be sheared down, it can be built up a little bit, but I don't think it really goes past medium for me. It does have a natural finish that has like a very skin-like glow to it, but not like a radiant glow. Like it doesn't make me look super plump necessarily, but more like this kind of finish. I'm not wearing it today, but it's more like this, where my skin would probably give you this radiance on its own kind of thing, you know? But this one did last like 8 hours, which was the best out of this range. My overall thoughts. It's very thin and serumy. It feels very comfortable and lightweight. It has that light to medium coverage. It doesn't have too much glow, but it doesn't feel dry or get too like oily looking like the other Flower Beauty one. And it is very skin-like finish. So like always, I'm going to rank these just based off this little collection, not based off anything else in my collection. Number 1 would be the Flower Beauty Get Real. This is way more up my alley. It's got that hydrating, serum-y finish, very skin-like. I really like it. The finish, I really like how it wears. Number 2 would be the Light Illusion. This one doesn't do as much for me, but it does have that coverage, and it is a very comfortable wear time for me. It doesn't make me feel thirsty. It doesn't have an overly matte or powdery, cakey look to it. So that one's number 2. Number 3 is going to be the Maybelline Dewy and Smooth. I know that this kind of clung to my dry patches, but I don't always have dry patches. And this one did have a little bit better of a wear time than my number 4, which was the Wet n Wild Dewy Photofocus. This one's number 4 just because it doesn't wear that well and it doesn't look that great. So pick a battle, pick a struggle, as they say. And by they, I mean black people, clearly. And then number 5 is the IT Cosmetics CC Illumination. If I could put this at number -7,000, I would. But for this little roundup, it's going to be number 5. Again, if there is any more information that you'd like to know about these foundations in the roundups, let me know down below. I try to put in as much as I can think of, but obviously I can't think of everything. I am just one measly little human. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. It helps me out so much. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!